Hey guys, welcome back to Marriages Restored in Faith. My name is Ray.
Hey guys, my name is Dora. It is Sunday, February 16th, 2025. Almost done with February.
Almost.
Almost. But it's still cold outside.
Well, it's weird in different locations.
Yes.
They're having thunderstorms, tornadoes. Other areas having snow. We're having weird weather. It's either extremely windy, like it was yesterday, or cold,
Yes.
or both.
Or both. Cold in the daytime.
And,
Cold in the morning and then hot in the afternoon.
and that's because we were traveling yesterday, and you talk about some awful, extremely windy conditions.
Very windy.
Yes. It
Yes.
was horrible, and we were just out and about, actually out in the field,
Yeah.
looking looking at things, and it was just awful. So it was one of those days. But guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. And yes, as you see, it is Sunday morning. Maybe it's not Sunday morning in your area. Maybe it's in the afternoon. It is Sunday morning here where we're at, and we just wanted to bring you the Bible prophecy update. We can do this pretty much daily now.
Yes.
There was a time that you would say that will be coming up in the future. Look for these events. Now it's like you see this event, this lines up with Bible prophecy. You see an event and you say, "Oh wow!" You can go back and look at it and find it in Scripture.
Definitely.
It's happening fast, which is exciting. We've heard the term "interesting times." That can be both good and bad depending on how you use it. As a Christian, you say this is interesting times. It can mean really good. Why? Because now we get to see Bible prophecy unfold.
Yes.
As a non-believer, somebody says that these are interesting times. It can mean this is confusion. They are either confused or they're fearful. We have several videos that we're going to share with you today. In fact, we have a lot of videos, but we're only going to share a few of them today because this is going to be a 2-part, possibly 3-part, depending how fast things are happening. But we just want to share some things with you, and we want to bring forewarning to people because the deception is getting greater.
Yes, it is.
It's like me and Dora and Joe can sit down and have a discussion, and we'll be like, this is actually happening, and the sad part is many are believing it and falling for it, for the deception, and they're going about their business as not knowing that this is really happening. It's Bible prophecy that God said in the end times deception was going to be massive. In fact, I forgot to tell Joe to get that picture of there's a photo on our Facebook, I believe, or no, on my comment section. I never did get the photo of it, but it was I had commented on a post where they had Donald Trump holding up the world, a flag wrapped around him, the American flag, and he was holding up the world like this. You talk about man worship. No man holds the world. None. God is in total control.
Yes.
And when they're putting man in that position, you talk about man worship, and we're gonna show you some videos and we'll discuss some things with you. So let me show this with you first. If you can give me number 6, we'll start with that, and then we'll get into Bible prophecy. Again, if you would just give us a thumbs up, if you would share this video, if you would help us, we're still being shadow banned, especially videos like this on Facebook and YouTube. They don't want you to see things like this. They don't want you to hear. So we'll play this one.
¿Por qué le tienen miedo a eso, hombre? Usted está para acá, hombre. Yo agarro esa vaina, son mentiras, eso no es droguta ni.
Yeah, the mute. So you see this guy? It's an eel. And he just goes and grabs it, and The guy has it in a net. He knows better, but the
Right.
other one wants to just go grab the.
And he's telling him, you know, the older man's telling him not that that's just, you know, it's not true, that's not, you know. And he's like, okay, whatever. He grabs his thigh. He falls in the water. But my thing is that he just hurries up and gets up and starts acting like he's helping him.
It's self-correcting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You won't do it again.
Yeah.
Nobody has to tell you it's not real. Nobody has to tell you, hey, you're done. You're not going to do it again. I'm just telling you. But here's the thing. This video can be a good example of what is happening today. We are warning people and letting people look what's happening. And what are they doing? They're running towards danger.
Mhm.
They're pushing the beast system to accept it. They're going along and putting all these apps on their phones. Even some people putting the chips in themselves, volunteering to put that stuff in them. I mean, they're running with it, and then these are the results.
Yes.
They end up hitting rock bottom. And they're like, wow, this is real. This is what really is happening. Yes. It's, in fact, if we can pull up that photo that I have on Facebook, I forgot about that one too. I'm telling you, it's just things that we are so busy that, and we're trying to get all this information to you. It's exciting to get this information at the same time. It really is. I do get excited to share this information. I even walk up to door and tell door, hey, look, I need you to listen to this. Watch this video. This just was up. Look, this is really. Oh, I didn't even tell Joe. I just told. Can you put up this photo?
Yeah, he thinks that she can. His mind.
Smart LA.
His mind is going just.
I'm just running 100 miles an hour, huh? So, I want to show you this photo, but we do have the article, and it's 52 pages. The documents.
Oh,
we have the documents. It's 52 pages, and it goes in detail of what they want to do. Now, keep in mind, this was done, this booklet, in 2020.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When were the fires? What year was the fires? This year, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Here recently, wasn't it? This 2020, Smart LA by 2028. People are volunteering to get in these apartment complexes, to get in these smart cities, because to them, they don't want to own anything because it costs too much to maintain and to purchase. And we are seeing that today.
Oh, yes.
We are seeing, in fact, I was going to bring another video and I just remembered of that one too as well. They're discussing that people will not be able to, there will not be any mortgages in certain areas because insurance providers will not insure the properties in these certain areas. Sound kind of fishy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if somebody can't own something in this specific area because insurance will not insure a property because you have to get a mortgage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to get it unless you have $300,000, $500,000, or $1 million to purchase a home cash.
Right.
People would have to get it financed, especially rebuilding these.
Mm-hmm.
Rebuilding these homes that are burnt up, they would have to get them financed. But if an insurance company doesn't insure them, then they can't get them financed.
Yeah, the banks won't. The banks will not finance them.
So then what happens? You got rent.
Yeah.
And you see how expensive new cars are now. I've seen some trucks that are $100,000. That's more than my house. How can people buy a $100,000 home or a $100,000 car? How can they afford a $100,000 car? Again, so then they would rather say, you know what, we'll just purchase a bike.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get in one of these places and we'll just walk and bike ride wherever we need to go.
Oh, yes. There's a huge agenda behind all of this. And, you know, as you can see in that article, it was published out in December 2020. So they already have, I mean, these are the plans that they have. So again, you know, we've said it before in the other videos that you've got to go and look at, you know, what city you're in, you know, what their plans are for 2028, 2030, and see if you're one of those cities. Because if you are, then things are going to start happening.
Mm-hmm.
Things are going to start happening.
We have flock cameras. Flock cameras are cameras that the police department uses to read license plates. For instance, there's a crime and somebody says, well, these are the last numbers, or these are the numbers that what I saw, or this is the type of vehicle I saw at this area. Well, the flock camera system, all you do is type in the license plate, or you type in the type of vehicle you're looking for, the color, the make, the model, and it will give you every vehicle of that make, model, every of that specific color, of every intersection, every street it was in. It will line all that up, and it will give you a time, date, everything on there. So then you're able to track that person if that was the individual. So then if you get that vehicle was in that location at that specific time that the crime was committed, now you have pinpointed that. So now you can get the license plate, since the flock camera took pictures of that, took video recording of that. Now you have your suspect. It's good technology for when crimes are happening. Mm-hmm. Say for instance, a kidnapping happened, a sexual assault, a child was kidnapped. You want that system to hurry up and catch that criminal mm-hmm. before he goes too far with that child, right? But what is the B system going to use it for? Mm-hmm. To monitor every person.
Yes.
So let me share something else. Let me give me number 2. I wonder if this guy actually read the book of Jonah. And you'll see why here in a second. I'll show you this video. Maybe you've seen it already. Maybe you haven't. But I want to show you this, and then we're going to get into some Bible prophecy, and we're going to show you from the Bible of what is happening right now.
A kayaker almost became lunch for a whale. It happened off the coast of Patagonia in Chile. Adrian Simancas and his father were out on the water when a humpback whale got hungry. Yes, at first when I thought I had died, it was like, of course, a lot of terror. Because I thought, no, there was nothing I could do. And when I got out and started to float, there I was really afraid that something would happen to my dad too. That we wouldn't have reached the shore in time and I would get hypothermia. This wasn't like some Bible story where Adrian was stuck inside a whale for 3 days. He was quickly released, but not quickly enough for his dad, who could only watch helplessly. When I turned around, I didn't see Adrian, my partner, my son. I didn't see him and I didn't see the boat, so I was surprised and worried. And then I see him come to the surface, and after him, the boat comes to the surface. Del kept calling out to Adrian to stay calm while he paddled over to him. They made it back to shore without any injuries, but now they have a heck of a survival story to tell.
This guy could literally tell you what it felt like to be inside a whale.
Yes.
I'm telling you, you just never know what's going to happen. You can never tell. There was 2 videos I was going to share with you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for tomorrow, and I'll share those videos to you. So let's get started. Let me show you Revelation chapter 6, and no, let me show you this video first. If you can give me number 1, and then we'll share scripture with you right now as we speak. This just happened here recently. And what we need to understand, people don't make statements just to make them.
Right.
Especially in these positions. These people in these positions that are in a political area and in a position this high up in the world do not make these statements just to make them.
Right.
There's a spiritual sense behind it. There's a spiritual powers behind it to push it. So let me play this and you'll see what I'm talking about.
We can't be a strong nation if we have a weak citizenry. If people are sick, 60% of our people are sick, 77%, as President Trump mentioned, of our children cannot qualify for military service. And we need a man on a white horse now. We need somebody who is willing to come in and has the spine and the guts and the strength to challenge orthodoxies, to stand in the way of vested interests, and to break institutions that have turned against our democracy. President Trump has shown again and again that he is that hero. And most recently, I greatly appreciate it. And I called you the day that you announced the termination of USAID. My uncle started USAID in 1961 for humanitarian purposes to put our country on the side of the poor. It has been captured by the.
You see how they're putting this man on a pedestal. He's the hero. We need a hero. We need somebody that's strong, that's got a backbone, that's willing to go against. Okay. It all sounds great, right? It all sounds good. And people say, well, we need somebody to fight. You know, we need somebody to clean house. We need somebody to do something, right? Let me show you what the Bible clearly states, what he just said. We need a man and a white horse. Revelation chapter 6, 1 through 2.
Now I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying with a voice like thunder, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a white horse. He who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer.
Conquering and to conquer. That means by brute force. He conquered by brute force. What did he just say? That this this man in a white horse is going to go do, that we need him to have a backbone. Why would you need a backbone? To push forward, to be strong, to fight, to succeed. Don't get this in Revelation chapter 6, verse 2, mixed up with Revelation chapter 19, where that is Jesus. Revelation chapter 6, verse 2 is the Antichrist, not Jesus. People mix that up with Jesus. No, Jesus in Revelation 19, 11 through 16, that is Jesus coming. This right here in Revelation chapter 6, verse 2 is the Antichrist. The first seal, let me give you some notes. The first seal, a white horse, the rider on the white horse is the Antichrist. The Apostle Paul gives us a vivid picture of the coming of this rider. Before he comes, 2 things will happen. I want you to pay attention. 2 things will happen before he comes. They're falling away. The spiritual falling away will take place during the church age and will be intensified in the end times. We are seeing that at a grand scale right now. We are seeing it in churches. We are seeing it in social media. We are seeing it on YouTube. We are seeing it from pastors. We are seeing it,
Yes.
Everywhere. You name it, you're seeing it. The man of sin, the Antichrist, is revealed, the son of perdition, utter destruction. He will appear on the political scene using his demonic psychology with a solution to all the problems of the nations. He will exalt himself above all that is called God. He will be worshipped by unbelievers so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. This is 2 Thessalonians 2, 3, 4, Matthew 24, 15 through 22, and Daniel 9, 27. Now, let me go back and let me play this video again. And I want you to listen again what he's talking about, the man in a white horse. What he's explaining, what he needs this man in a white horse to do. I want you to listen to how he looks to Trump, what he explains to Trump. I'm not saying Trump is Antichrist. Don't start saying that. No, that's not what I'm saying.
I was just about to make that comment. It's like, no, we're not saying that he is the Antichrist, but you have to see what the agenda is behind all this.
Yes,
that's what we're saying.
Okay.
Can't be a strong nation if we have a weak citizenry. If people are sick, 60% of our people are sick, 77%, as President Trump mentioned, of our children cannot qualify for military service. And we need a man on a white horse now. We need somebody who is willing to come in and has the spine and the guts and the strength to challenge orthodoxies, to stand in the way of vested interests, and to break institutions that have turned against our democracy. President Trump has shown again and again that he is that hero. And most recently, I greatly appreciate it, and I called you the day that you announced the termination.
First of all, we're not a democracy.
Right.
You've heard that they keep pushing that we are a democracy. We're not a democracy. Democracy says one a small party rules the entire party. We're not a democracy. Second, he talks about he needs them to have a backbone to go against all these different agendas. And just think about it. What are they really going to go after? Is there going to be some good and some bad at the same time? Because if you know anything about power, when somebody has so much power, one ruler, what happens? Greed comes in, pride comes in, arrogance comes in, and the love of power changes people. I've seen it happen many times. The minute somebody gets in a certain position and they have this amount of power, they want to say, you know what, my way or the highway. There's no questioning me. There's no having a discussion with me because I have the power. It happens every time. The only way it will not happen is if we put Jesus first, plain and simple, and we humble ourselves. See, he mentioned the man in the white horse. Why would somebody have to mention a man in the white horse, especially in a position like this, if it was not going to be a true meaning of what is behind it, a spiritual meaning behind it?
Yes, because they're putting so much faith on this man, and they're in their way of honoring him is by going back to biblical. What's the word I'm looking for? To contrast. In other words, to say, well, he depicts this, which
he symbolizes.
Yes,
he symbolizes the man
this.
in the white horse, and that's what we need is the man in the white horse so he can go conquering and go conquering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think about it. And the sad part is there's a lot of Christians, and some of these are in the top position, top influencers in Christianity that are running with this.
Yes. And
don't even see what he just said. Don't even pay attention to it. Let me share one more video with you. You mean give me number 3? And then we're going to do part 2, and you're going to see the one world religion being in place, and we may share another video of these. I'm going to share 2 more videos with you. So I want you to listen to this. Again, this is another man that is inside the Trump team. This is a man that people have looked up to in the Trump team. This is a man that people say, I am glad he is taking all over social media. I hope he buys TikTok and so on so we can have freedom. No, people, you're not paying attention. You're not listening to what this man is not for you. Listen to what he says.
An article that has 1,000 words, technically all 1,000 words could have made it onto X somehow. And effectively, now you have this remarkable repository. And I wonder how you think about that again, and how you think the creative community and those who were the original IP owners should think about that.
I don't know, except to say that by the time these lawsuits are decided, we'll have Digital God. So ask Digital God at that point. These lawsuits won't be decided before on a time frame that is relevant.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think we live, there's that, I don't know if it's actually a real Chinese saying or not, but may you live in interesting times, right? Is apparently not a good thing. But I would prefer to, personally, I would prefer to live in interesting times. And we live in the most interesting of times. I think for a while there, I was really getting demotivated and losing sleep over the threat of AI danger. And then I finally sort of became fatalistic about it and said, well, even if I knew annihilation was certain, would I choose to be alive at that time or not? And I said I probably would choose to be alive at that time because it's the most interesting thing, even if there's nothing I could do about it. So then, then basically sort of a fatalistic resignation helped me sleep at night because I was having trouble sleeping at night because of AI danger. Now, what to do about it? I mean, I've been the biggest, the one banging the drum the hardest, by far the longest, or at least one of the longest for AI danger. And these regulatory things that are happening, the single biggest reason they're happening is because of me.
An article.
Did you get all that? Interesting times. That's what he says. That even if it was annihilation,
Yes.
he would still live in this time.
Who says that? Who says that? That, I mean, look in the position that he's in. He's pretty much in the White House already. So, and he's talking about annihilation. He's talking about, interesting times that we're living in. And
Digital God.
yeah, digital God.
I mean, just think about that. And we can go into the book of Revelation and show you where they discuss this. And we're going to get into that. We'll get into that tomorrow. We'll get into more of this to show you. I mean, but yeah, Doris, right? Who says that? If I could choose, knowing that annihilation was going to happen, in other words, everybody's going to be wiped out. And if I could choose if I should live in that time period, I would choose it. I mean, who says that? No, nobody in their right mind will say, you know what? If there's a nuclear bomb in this area, I would love to be right there.
Well, and another key word is that he said, well, because I can't do nothing about it. So.
But then at the end, he starts talking about that he's the one that's been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, yeah. So we want to share that with you. Let me share one more video with you. If you can give me number 5. And we'll get into the digital God, and we're going to get into the one world religion that's going to be in place. And in fact, we have directly from AI telling you about the one world religion. Oh, there's not going to be any music in this one. Oh, well, I mean, no sound. I mean, because there is music. But I just want you to see this. This is just one of those that
you got to think.
You ask yourself, is it real or is it set up or what is she thinking? I mean, and he's just sitting there and he's like, okay, go ahead and get out. I mean, get up and go do it.
She's gonna throw the trash. No.
And he's looking at her like, what?
And she gets right back on the bike. And then, okay, now we can throw the trash. Yeah.
And then misses it.
Oh, man.
That's just one of those that you're wondering, is it real? Is it a setup or did she really do that?
Yeah.
It's one of those that's just unbelievable, right?
You just have to laugh.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, guys, it really is interesting times for the believer. These are times for the believer that the believer can look up and rejoice because God said, when you see these things happening, look up. Your redemption draws nigh. He said, in other words, look up because it's almost time to go home. He didn't say look up and be fearful. He didn't say go in panic mode and get scared. He didn't say go and buy all kinds of things and see if you can shelter in place. He didn't say any of that. He said look up. Why? Because our eyes should be on Jesus and not on man.
Amen. Yes, that is so true. Guys, want to remind y'all to put on your armor. You can find that in Ephesians 6:10-18. And that way you can understand how to do that and understand the reason why we should all armor up, especially in these times. Want to also show you where our platforms are at and for you to follow us, to share our content as well. We would really, really appreciate it. And there is our email there if you would like to get a hold of us. We thank you again for joining us. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you on our next video.